In the previous live stream, we talked about our analysis on dollar and key levels we're watching. And as you can see, price came into the extreme discount position. And we're seeing this rejection of that key level will have a higher low. So if we do see a break of structure right here, then we'll be anticipating for a retest and continuation, potentially running this buy side liquidity and continuing to the upside for the dollar. So that is my analysis and what I'm looking for to see in the marketplace on the dollar. And now, if we look at the inverse reaction on the euro, we can see that for on the euro, we'll be looking at a 30 minutes break of structure. And for the euro, if we're waiting to see a 30 minutes shift to market structure, that means this low is going to get taken. And if we look at 15 minutes, let's flip this chart to see if it's much. Personally, even if we break this low right here or this high, because I inverted my chart, even if we take this low, I'm still not going to be confident taking a sell on euro. I'll only be confident, even though I wouldn't want to trade sells on the euro. But I would rather prefer seeing this low get violated before looking for any possible sells on the euro, right? And the reason for that is because this low right here, I wouldn't even consider this as a low. I consider this as the low and the high. So until this gets violated, I'm still going to be anticipating for higher prices on the euro. So that is what I'm looking forward to see on the euro. So let's look at the GBP US dollar as well to see if it has any sort of confluence to align with our analysis on the euro. And right here on the GBP US dollar, we can see we have this inefficiency resting right here, and price mitigated the inefficiency. And after that mitigation, we're seeing this rejection. So we would like to see a 15 minutes break of structure for us to say this is a key level that is going to hold for sales for GBP US dollar. And for GBP US dollar, we have a low right here. And GBP US dollar seem to be showing a better price action when it comes to it going down. So right here, if this low gets taken on GBP US dollar, then we'll potentially anticipate for a retest and then continuation to the downside. So let's look at daily on GBP US dollar. So daily on the GBP US dollar, the candle on the daily is kind of showing us that it wants to go to the downside. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly looks in between, and it's not really showing what is going down or not. It's just kind of in between bullish and bearish. And today is going to be the last day of the month for February, and which means by tomorrow there's going to be a new monthly candle. And if the new monthly candle is going to be out, then potentially we'll be anticipating to see a run on liquidity. So if the market is going to continue going to the upside for March, then we would like to see a run on sell side liquidity and then a continuation move to the upside. But if we're going to go to the downside in March, then I'll anticipate to see a buy side liquidity get taken and then potentially continuation to the downside. So looking at the dollar, dollar has tapped into our key level, our high, because we're anticipating to see whether a high, a low, and this high is going to get broken. And right now we've tapped the high. So all we want to see now is a break of structure above this high. If we do see that, then we'll potentially look for a retest in this key level or price running the liquidity resting right here, and then continuation to the upside. This inefficiency would be an area to attract price to the upside. And then after that, we could potentially see even higher prices on the dollar. So that is my analysis on the dollar, my analysis on the euro and GBP US dollar. So looking at gold as well, I said I wanted to see gold gravitate to the downside into this key level. But I personally wouldn't want to sell it because you can see the algorithm is actually inducing a lot of liquidity right here. So much liquidity is being induced right here. So I'll be watching this closely. I wouldn't try to sell it because anything can happen and price could spike up, run liquidity, and then spike down again. So personally, I'm gonna be on the sidelines on this one, and let me look at what Euro US dollar is doing as well. For Euro US dollar, we're still far away from the low I'm anticipating to see price take it, and until then, we'll be on the sidelines. So for NZD US dollar, NZD US dollar, this is our key level where we're anticipating to see price coming to for us to engage into the marketplace. And so far, price is still far off from that key level, about we use the measuring tool to see how many percent away. It's about 1.46% away. So I'm just noticing that NZD US dollar is quite a very volatile pair. I rarely trade this pair, but I'm beginning to do more analysis on it to understand how it moves and areas that we can actually potentially wait for significant trade ideas. And for this one, we can actually see we have a high, and then this is our current low. So we can look at this break of structure here, and then we look for the potential impulse before breaking it, which is this position. So we're just gonna watch this key level closely to see if price is gonna come into this key level. I don't trade this pair, but maybe we'll just have to start trading as well because this one is showing me more clearer price action that it wants to go to the downside, right? So if we do see price come in here, then we'll look for 2 minute shift to market structure. If we do see that, we can take a trade, right? So, but it's gonna be with very low risk. We're not gonna use a lot of risk on this trade, but I'm gonna be watching it closely. And if I do see anything interesting, I'm still gonna bring it to your notice. So let's look at what's happening with the dollar. The dollar has broken structure. So next thing we want to see is a close above this high. Once we close above this high, then we'll wait for a retest right here. So we'll look at GBP US dollar as well. So GBP US dollar has also broken structure. This was the last impulse move to the upside before breaking structure. And that would be a good area to look for potential sells in anticipation for a continuation to the downside on GBP US dollar. Our key level is a 4 hour inefficiency. And right here, we mitigated a 4 hour inefficiency. And after that, we saw this displacement on the smaller time frame. So all we're waiting for now is to see a potential retest in this key level. If we do see that, then we'll potentially look for sales on GBP US dollar to potentially run this sell side liquidities resting right here. So that is my analysis on what I'm looking forward to see in the marketplace. So we're gonna wait for the next 7 minutes to see if this is gonna close above this high. If it does close, then we look for potential retest and then continuation to the upside on the US dollar. So that is my analysis. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop it in the charts. Let's look at AUD US dollar. So AUD US dollar came very close to our key level that I marked out. You can see the point of interest. I marked it out, and as you can see, it came very close to that area, just about how many pips away? It came very close, about just zero point 0.1 pip away from the point of interest, and price just reversed and didn't tap in. So there's not really much we're gonna do about that. It's just the market doesn't want to give us that trade, and you can already see why the market didn't want us to get in on that trade. The reason is because we have this inefficiency, and it mitigated this inefficiency, a 4 hour time frame inefficiency. So we look at daily time frame. So we would like to see a 15 minutes break. This is the low, this is the high. So if we do see a 15 minutes break from here, then all road leads to the downside for AUD US dollar. So that is my analysis on AUD US dollar. I personally would have preferred to see a little bit of an upward move into this inefficiency, but price is really bearish and it's so much in a hurry to head to the downside to run the sell side or tap into an extreme discount. So I'm just going to be watching this closely, and if I do see anything interesting, I'm going to let you all know. So I appreciate you all for tuning in today, and I'll talk to you all in the next live stream. Have an amazing day, everyone.